She tearfully exclaimed, "I will never be a good person again." Government land seizure in Guangdong met with resistance. Chinese officials mocked for staging fake news. Student in Hangzhou exposes the dark secrets of military training in schools. Sudden road collapse across China posed serious risks to pedestrians and vehicles. A kind woman helped an elderly man who had fallen by taking him to the hospital, but she was later accused and extorted by his family. On August 23rd, a video went viral online. In the video, an elderly woman was holding on to a younger woman, refusing to let her go. The younger woman looked very angry, struggling to break free while explaining loudly to the surrounding people, "Isn't this ridiculous? Do you all think this is funny? It's impossible to be a good person anymore. No one should be a good person anymore. I kindly helped him, but now I'm being blamed. My friend helped me drive my own car to bring him here. And now they want me to pay? There's no justice in this world. I can't be a good person anymore. Don't be a good person. They even accused me of robbery, hit me, and held me back, saying I robbed them. I really don't understand." Nearby, a man's voice could be heard saying he was going to call the police. It turned out that an elderly man had accidentally fallen down some stairs. A woman who was passing by quickly helped him and took him to a nearby hospital. However, when the man's wife arrived at the hospital, instead of being grateful for the woman's kindness, she accused her of causing the fall. The woman's use of her own car was even seen by the family as robbery. The elderly woman then grabbed onto the kind woman, harassed her, and tried to extort money for the man's medical fees, even threatening to call the police, which deeply disheartened the woman. Faced with these sudden accusations, the woman felt extremely angry and wronged. While trying to free herself from the elderly woman's grasp, she shouted, "I will never be a good person again." But the elderly man's wife continued to hold on, refusing to let her leave. A kind-hearted act like the one shown by this woman should have been met with praise and encouragement from society. Sadly, instead, she experienced the disheartening reality that no good deed goes unpunished. It is actions like those of morally corrupt individuals that severely undermine people's willingness to help others. These incidents make those with good intentions hesitate, fearful of the consequences. Many people online have expressed their outrage over this. They believe that such actions by malicious individuals cause good people to lose faith in helping others. Now, when elderly people fall on the street, bystanders are afraid to assist them. Even those who want to help feel the need to film the scene first to protect themselves from being wrongfully accused. If brave and good deeds cannot be protected, and instead good Samaritans are being falsely accused or extorted, who would be willing to help in the future? The spread of this behavior severely damages the trust system within society. On the morning of August 23rd, a force made up of hundreds of police officers, city management officials, and civil servants entered Banqiao village, attempting to forcibly take over the land. When villagers saw this, they quickly gathered to resist and tried to stop the team from seizing the land. The villagers held up banners, blocked the village entrance, and used their bodies to stand in the way of bulldozers and logging equipment. However, the villagers were outnumbered, and their efforts were largely in vain. To disperse the crowd, the enforcement team used high-pressure water cannons, knocking many people down and causing injuries. At the same time, the team began cutting down the village's lychee trees on a large scale. These trees had been carefully cultivated by many families for years and were their main source of income. Watching their hard-earned fruit trees being destroyed, villagers were visibly upset. Some tried to approach the enforcement team to stop the logging, but were immediately arrested. The clash lasted for several hours before the villagers' resistance was suppressed, and part of the land was forcibly taken, leaving the scene in chaos. According to eyewitnesses, the village was left desolate after the clash. Many villagers lost the land and trees they depended on for their livelihoods. Following the incident, villagers repeatedly reported the situation to higher authorities and the media, but as of now, they have not received any positive response. Local villagers revealed that the land in Banqiao village had been their primary means of survival for many years, especially the lychee trees, which were a crucial economic support for many families. Recently, the government proposed to requisition some of the village's land for a development project, but the compensation offered was far below market value, which the villagers unanimously rejected. After multiple rounds of unsuccessful negotiations, the villagers collectively refused to sign the land acquisition agreement. On the same day, in Shiga Village, Bohai Town, Miaoming Danbai District, Guangdong, local authorities deployed police, city management officials, and marine enforcement officers to forcibly demolish coastal fish farms. They reportedly assaulted and arrested fish farmers who resisted. According to local villagers, the government is attempting to develop a tourist destination in the area and has been forcing the relocation of fish farmers to a different sea area, which is unsuitable for their farming activities. The compensation offered was also deemed unreasonable, leading to strong resistance from the farmers. Many are concerned that the forced land seizures will severely impact the villagers' livelihoods, and the government's heavy-handed approach has only deepened social tensions. Some commentators have pointed out that local governments are heavily in debt and are resorting to selling land to maintain their finances. Ultimately, it is the farmers at the bottom who bear the brunt of this exploitation. When you first see the scene, it might move you. A few officials step out of their cars, holding briefcases, trudging down muddy roads with umbrellas in hand, braving a heavy downpour to inspect work in a rural village. But then the camera pans out, revealing that the heavy rain is actually being created by a nearby fire truck. This supposedly heartwarming scene turns out to be nothing more than Chinese officials staging fake news for their own publicity. In the Chinese political scene, it's common for officials to be indifferent and performative, doing little of real substance. Yet they need to appear diligent and caring for the people, so staging fake news has become their way of deceiving the public. One of the videos shows a traffic police officer helping an elderly person across the street in the rain. A touching moment, right? Unfortunately, it was staged. A woman happened to catch the fake news scene being filmed and sarcastically remarked, "Look at this setup. Your routine is too deep." Another clip shows a scene of heavy snow, with traffic police seemingly fighting on the front lines. However, in reality, this too was staged for the cameras. One video even shows an officer directing traffic in fake rain, making it clear that the whole situation was fabricated for the cameras. A netizen commented in the video, "When it comes to the most deceptive country, without a doubt it's under the CCP. All the politicians, from Zhongnanhai down to mid-level cadres, and even the lower-level police officers, all rely on performances to deceive the public." Take a look at this video of the police working in the rain, right? What we usually see on CCTV and state media seems to be full of positive energy, but in reality, all of this is staged. You see government officials and police supposedly rescuing people and helping the public. Most of it is staged by professional camera teams. So how are they really serving the people? In reality, they treat the people like dirt, as if they don't matter at all. In China, it's not just the news that's fake. Slogans, projects, and even lawns can be fake. One netizen said, "One thing is faker than the next." Currently, because of the numerous lies the CCP has used to deceive the people, many Chinese have woken up and no longer believe their lies. For instance, this young man was riding his motorcycle when he passed by some government propaganda slogans. Knowing they were lies meant to deceive the people, he became enraged. He immediately stopped his motorcycle, picked up a nearby stone, and smashed the glass window displaying the slogans, shattering it completely. Student in Hangzhou exposes the dark secrets of military training in schools. Recently, a brave elementary school student from Hangzhou publicly exposed the scams behind China's school military training programs and internet addiction camps. This young student, speaking clearly and fearlessly, boldly revealed, "China has traitors, science fiction has alien traitors, and the education system has its own type of traitors, those who earn dirty money under the guise of education." He went on to criticize the military training in schools. These so-called military training programs are run by unqualified instructors with no real profession. They claim to be providing military training by simply yelling at and attacking kids. The real purpose of military training, as established by the state, is to instill a sense of national defense and to build physical strength in students. But how many schools actually achieve this through military training? How many of these programs aren't just superficial formalities? You could say that the businesses colluding with schools in this way are part of a great industry, or even a black industry. He also exposed the truth behind internet addiction camps set up under various pretenses in China. They're all about making dirty money from unsuspecting families. How many of the so-called instructors in these camps are legitimate? The so-called researchers, doctors, and teachers in these camps aren't real professionals. The student went on to criticize not just one school, but every internet addiction camp in China, stating, "I'm talking about all the so-called internet addiction camps, places like the Guangdong Qingyuan Internet Addiction School and the Sichuan New Bashu Internet Addiction School. They're all the same, scamming parents online, deceiving kids. All they need is a smooth-talking mouth to trick people." Towards the end of the video, the student said, "This kind of so-called education only leads to widespread dislike of militarized training and national defense education among students across the country. Instead of helping the nation, it does the opposite. To the people, it's nothing but oppression." This student, from Hangzhou Experimental Elementary School, affiliated with the Education Science Research Institute, had previously posted a video exposing the school cafeteria's poor hygiene, citing incidents of flies in the food and meals that were both unsanitary and unappetizing. In response, the school summoned him for a talk and pressured his parents. Despite his father asking him to delete the video, the student refused to compromise, declaring, "People are free. Maybe the account will be gone, but the video will never be deleted." He resolutely stood his ground, saying, "I will fight to the end," earning him praise from netizens who said, "A strong youth leads to a strong nation. This boy is the backbone of China's rise." One netizen spoke to naysayers in the comment section. "You can stay silent in the corner, but don't disparage or mock those braver than you, because the light they fight for may one day shine on you." Many people praised the young boy for his courage. Sudden road collapse across China pose serious risks to pedestrians and vehicles. On August 17th, a road collapse occurred at an intersection on South Ring East Road in Changping District, Beijing, trapping a tourist bus. The bus bore the name Yuyang Taxi Company. Videos show two large sinkholes on the road, each about 3 to 4 meters in diameter. The rear half of the bus was still left hanging over the sinkholes. Fortunately, due to the size of the bus, it did not fall into the pit. In another video, an elderly man, curious about a small hole on the road, leaned in for a closer look. To his shock, the ground suddenly gave way, swallowing him whole. Multiple incidents of sudden road collapses have been reported across various parts of China, causing serious damage to urban infrastructure and posing significant threats to the safety of pedestrians and vehicles. These collapses often happen without any warning, leading pedestrians and moving cars to unexpectedly fall into deep pits. In some cases, this results in property damage, while in others, it leads to serious injuries or even fatalities. One of the most severe incidents occurred in Meizhou, Guangdong Province. On May 1st of this year, a massive collapse on the Meilong Expressway in the Meida section led to the deaths of at least 48 people and injured 30 others. The collapse was likely caused by prolonged heavy rainfall, geological issues, and poor construction quality. When the collapse occurred, many vehicles were buried under the debris, and some even caught fire. On October 11, 2023, in Meishan, Sichuan, a school playground collapsed, causing several students to fall into a septic pit. On November 19, 2023, in Jiyuan, Henan, the day after a supermarket's grand opening, the floor collapsed, and a customer accidentally fell into a nearly 4-meter deep pit inside the store. On the morning of November 27, 2023, in Nanchang, Jiangxi Province, the ground suddenly caved at an entrance of a residential area, and 2 pedestrians fell into the pit. They were taken to the hospital. In January 2024, Shanghai experienced a series of road collapses. On January 2nd, a depression appeared on the crosswalk at the south side of Shenbing Road and Xinghong Road intersection. On the morning of January 4th, a road collapse occurred in Minhang District, covering an area of about 10 square meters. The causes of road collapses are complex and varied, often including the following factors: aging or damaged underground networks. Over time, underground infrastructure such as water supply, drainage, gas, and electrical cables may experience aging, corrosion, or damage. When underground pipes rupture or leak, the surrounding soil can be eroded by water, causing the foundation to become unstable and resulting in road collapses. Secondly, over-extraction of groundwater. In some cities, excessive groundwater extraction over long periods leads to the depletion of the water table, causing voids and ground subsidence. This issue often goes unnoticed for a while, but when the soil collapses, it results in surface sinkholes. One netizen questioned the potential reason for these sudden road collapses across various regions. Isn't it possible that some local governments are failing in their regulatory duties, allowing construction companies to cut corners? This could indeed be a significant factor contributing to these dangerous incidents.